Okay, so in this session, we are going to talk about Tableau. Okay, so Tableau is one of the accounting softwares, which is used for data visualization and accounting and auditing analytics. Okay, so the major objective of this project or this lab session is data visualization, data analytics, and then storytelling. Okay, that means let us assume we have given a set of data. So using that data, we need to visualize that data set. Okay, visualization can be done using different kinds of charts. It could be figures, okay, it could be maps. So after we visualize that data set, it will be more readable, okay, for the readers. And then we need to analyze it. So after we analyze it, we need to build a story. So we need to tell a story behind the data. So the major objective of this project or lab session is basically first data visualization, and then we need to analyze our data based on the visualizations. And then after that, we need to tell a story. So that's actually the major objective of this session, okay? So as we mentioned before, in order to start your project, you need to install Tableau. So I have already discussed this one in our previous session. So you need to go to this link, and then you need to download it, okay? You need to download the Tableau software. So just click here. I have already discussed this one. So basically, if you want to know more about the Tableau installation, please go here, step 1, and then you can just find the detailed discussion over there. So in case you didn't download it, so just go here and then download the Tableau software. Okay. So after you download the app, basically you can install it. Okay. So you can find the detailed information in this YouTube video. So I have already recorded the video how to install Tableau. So please go there and then you will find detailed information over there, okay? So after we actually install the Tableau software, so the next part is basically let us open our Tableau software. Okay, so as you can see here, this is the feature of a Tableau. So we have 3 parts as we discussed before, the connection, the workbook, and other parts. So normally we are going to use the connection and the other parts, okay? This one is just if you want to get a detail, some other relevant information related to Tableau, okay? I have already discussed this one. So now, if your data set is actually in Excel format, you need to click here. So let us assume, for example, let us assume your data set is in Excel file. For example, this Excel file is actually in Excel file. So just click here and then you can upload it. And if your data set is in CSV file, for example, your lab report 3 data set is in CSV file, right? So you need to come here, text file, okay? And then as you can see here, for example, can you see this one? This is your lab report 3. So you need to upload this file basically. So if it is Excel file, just click here. If it is CSV file, click here. PDF, you have to click here, okay? So now, since my file is actually Excel file for this project, so I'm going to install the Excel file. So I'll go here and then I'll upload my data set, okay? So maybe before we start working on Tableau, let me just tell you how our structure, how our sample data set looks like. So basically we have 4 important data sets: the general ledger, a territory, calendar, that means dates, and then we have the chart of account. So we have 4 data sets, that means 4 sheets. So we need to install this data sets into Tableau, and then we are going to work on that, okay? So as you can see, we have 4 data sets here. So let us start with uploading the data sets. So let us bring the general ledger. Okay, so as you can see here, the general ledger data has been uploaded, but we need also data related to a territory because we are going to show, for example, the sales based on region, and we are going to sell the profitability of our company across countries, okay, over time. So we need to install also these data sets, okay? So let us upload these data sets, okay? Let us create a connection, and then the calendar. We need the chart of accounts, okay? So as you can see here, just click on this connection. So for example, my general ledger and territory has been connected using a territory key, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. But when you come down, basically the connection is many to many, right? But if you open your Excel file, so we have about over 27,900 data points in our general ledger. But if you open basically the territory dataset, we have only 7 data points, right? So that means 7 observations, 7 countries, right? So the connection should be many ledger, the general ledger dataset, the connection should be many to one, because here in the US, for example, in one country, there may be many transactions. So many data points from general ledger could be connected to just one country. Okay. Same thing for the calendar. Okay. In a single day, there may be many transactions or many general ledger observations, right? Or many general ledger data points. Okay. And the same thing for chart of accounts. Okay. So the connection from general ledger to other data set should be many to one. Okay, so let us change it. So obviously this one should be many, the cardinality. Okay, you remember in our previous classes, we talk about cardinality. There could be one-to-one connection, one to many, many to one connection. There could be many to many connection. Last week we talked about this one actually, the relationship with database, how to connect two database basically. So the cardinality could be like one to one or one to many or many to many. Okay, so now general ledger will be connected to territory many to one. Okay, just choose one, and then even for the chart of accounts, as we discussed, many to one, and come to this one again, many to one. Okay, so the general idea is in one territory, that means in one country, there may be many transactions or general ledger observations. Same thing for the chart of accounts. Just one chart of account accounting item could be repeated many times in our general ledger data sets. Okay, that's the general idea. So we have already created our connections. Okay, and we have already uploaded our data sets into Tableau. Now we can start working on our data sets. But before we start working on our data set, I strongly suggest you for your final project as well as for this one to save your data set in this format. Okay, we have two formats, Tableau workbook format, and then we have also this format. But I suggest you to save your project as Tableau package workbook format. Okay, so in this format, TWBX, not TWB. Okay, because if you share basically this one, most of the time the data is not really user friendly to open it. Sometimes it may not open, most of the time actually, but this one it may open. So I suggest to save your dataset in this format. So let us save our dataset. So come here, save. So let us make this one as Tableau. Let us make it Aki 231 Tableau project. Okay. Oh, I think I forgot to save it as this one. Okay, you have to select this one. So Aki 231 Tableau project. So let us save it now. Okay, let us go back now. So as you can see here, we are interested on this one, not this one. Okay. So let us delete this one. I need only this one. Okay. So now let us save it. Okay. So our data set is actually saved. And then as you can see, this is actually the name of our file. Okay. So in Tableau, there are three actually features. So when it comes to the analysis part, so there is a worksheet, there is a dashboard, and there is a story. Okay. So the sheets are going to be used for analysis, The dashboard is to just visualize the important visualizations. And then the story is actually what is the story behind our data set. For example, is the sales increasing over time or decreasing? What about the cost composition, right? In which country the sales are more, the profitability are more or less? That kind of story will be discussed under story. Okay, so now let us start with our data analysis. So let us start with sheet 1. Okay, so let us make this one as working. Okay, so before we start our income statement, let us just have a general overview of our data set. Okay, so our main objective is basically to show how our income statement of the company looks like. Okay, so let us start just working with the workings. So in order to have a visualization of our income statement, what we are going to do is, so let us start with just bring a report here and then just choose only profit and loss because we are interested only on this one, right? And another one is basically bring the data, okay? And just I'm interested only for 2025 and 2026. As you remember in your previous accounting subjects, most of the time income statement is prepared for this year and previous year just to compare and contrast, right? So let us just show the reporting for 2025 and 26, okay? So just click here in order to screen it, in order to filter it, show filter, okay? Oh, sorry, we need to bring the date here, okay? So let us keep the date here. So just unselect 2024. Okay, now we have only 2025 and 2026. Okay, so after we do that, let us bring class. Okay, and then let us bring the sub accounts. Okay, so actually the income statement looks like this one, right? But the sales accounting item should come first. Operating expense should come next, and then non-operating should come next, and then after that, the interest and taxes, right? So in other words, our income statement should look like this one. Let me just show you this one. So sample, let us say sample income statement, right? Okay, so this is a typical income statement, right? This is just a sample income statement to explain. So basically, first we need to bring a revenue or sales, and then if there is sales return and allowance, you minus it, and then after that we'll get a net sale, and then after that you need to minus a cost of goods sold, and after that we'll get a gross profit. Okay, and after that, if you have any operating expenses, including depreciation, including salary, okay, including marketing expenses, you minus them. And then after that, you'll find operating income. So gross profit minus all operating expense will give you operating income. And then minus interest expense, you'll find income before income taxes. And then finally, you will need to deduct the tax expenses. So you'll find the net income. So this is actually a typical income statement feature, right? So what we are going to do is, let us prepare this kind of income statement here. So as you can see here, we have the cost of goods sold, we have the sales, we have the sales return, right? Yeah, so after that, operating expenses, okay? And then we have this non-operating expense and interest and taxes. So let us compute our net income here. So come to analysis, totals, and show grand total here. So as you can see here, this is the income statement, okay, for 2025. So the net income for 2025 and 26. And you can also show this one as subtotals. So as you can see here, this is a gross profit for these 2 years. And this one is actually the income statement. Okay, this one is the total non-operating expenses. This one is the interest and taxes. So now, this one, for example, if I change total, okay, so every totals will change. For example, if I change this total into gross profit, every totals will change. So it's not really user-friendly to prepare using this data set. So what we are going to do is we are going to create our own income statement, okay? How can we create it? So this is a working, just keep it, okay? For example, if you want, you can just prepare like this one, okay? Just keep this one as a working.